All right, Tyrone Davies, and you're. If you want to just say the title of the show.
Hi, my name's Tyrone Davies, and the show is called. Crap. I named it, but I knew I was going to say it in the wrong order.
You're really like we should move so you're like because you're dark right there. So maybe, yeah, that's better. Okay.
Hi, my name's Tyrone Davies. I'm a video artist, and this show is called Purgatory of Sweat, Crucible of Bullets, and it's a show of video installations which I created.
And so this is really a general question, but can you kind of just describe what it's all about?
Yeah, so basically there are two pieces in this show, and both of them examine Sylvester Stallone films. And the one, which is an installation using footage from Rambo films, sort of investigates in my mind, the subject of PTSD, or post-traumatic stress syndrome. And it's not that those particular words are so important to me, but this idea that this veteran who's sort of like a shell-shocked veteran that keeps getting sent back into action, there's sort of this really ridiculous element to the theme that keeps reoccurring.
It seems like it could be, I don't know if you intend it, but it could be like a political, with our country, and that's reading too much in probably.
No, it wouldn't be though. That is part of it. I wouldn't want to say that that's the only thing it's about.
It's about a lot of things. It's about media.
Right, and if I were to narrow both of these pieces down to being about something, I'm more interested in the form, like the way certain, especially sequels, but other films or shows replicate the same tropes over and over, and those same themes and mini-themes never get used up. They're just...
I don't want to block the entrance.
Sure.
There.
And
so, that light is even better.
And so, it's interesting to me looking at media from a critical stance that some of these little ideas just keep getting used over and over, and apparently audiences don't get tired of them no matter how often it happens. But that theme happens over and over in Rambo, regardless of how ridiculous it is. And I'm not saying that I hate Rambo movies. I find something appealing about them, but I also think they're ridiculous.
You're drawn to them. Let me just pan over and get a bit of a pan there.
And then when it comes to the Rocky films, I'm kind of interested in this particular installation, in the fact that no matter how old or
they're kind of old films
gets,
to be looking at. There are a lot of more contemporary examples. If you're looking at like PTSD, which
they weren't even using that expression
earlier
on, but it's kind of the same thing. And then when I'm looking at the Rocky films, it's like it's basically the same story every time. And at the beginning, he seems like his career, his life as a boxer is over. But then there's some situation where he has to go fight another guy, and it's always the same deal. And I feel like you could look at it as this heroic story, but you could also look at it as sort of this hell of rematches where it's never over.
Repetition. It's like that. I can't think of it, like some Greek god that had to roll the rock up the hill over and
Sisyphus.
over. Sisyphus.
Yeah. So there's an absurd element to it, and it is.
And I saw like something about the Rocky movies. Like I'm old enough. I saw them. Like when that came out, and the reaction of people in the audience, in the theater, it was just like, really, people got up out of their chairs. It was really astonishing. You know, the people really got excited about that movie.
Yeah, I wasn't. You know, I didn't have that experience with the early ones in my childhood. You know, I remember from 3 on, from Rocky 3 on, but there is something interesting about that, about that branding, I guess. You know, people get excited about the brand.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah. I remember your show at No Brow Coffee had a lot of stuff about. I don't remember all of it. Some of it was about video games, and I think it's interesting the way you kind of tie in media, the way you look at media and violence have a really intimate relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like, I guess, you know, no matter whether it's news or fictional film, violence is a huge part of our entertainment, you know, and when I'm re-examining media or recontextualizing it, there's just so much of it that's about violence to begin with that's not always what I do, but a lot of the pieces I do focus on that. I guess, yeah. I'm not sure what else to say about violence specifically, but it's definitely there.
I was wondering about the way you've presented these clips. It's like they're loops and they're on different kind of screens. I like the little tiny TVs. Just if you can talk about that a little, the way that, I mean, there are a lot of clips playing at the same time,
sure.
And it's real like cacophony and layering. Mm-hmm. You're hearing a lot of
my
sound
idea
in the room.
Of it being. I like the idea that it's more than you can possibly take in.
It's overwhelming.
It's impossible to hear it all. You might see it all, but you won't really comprehend it all. And I feel like, you know, when I make work like that, I guess it's kind of inspired by what I feel like we live in a time where we're bombarded with media, and there's no shortage of entertainment. If there's a shortage of anything, there's no shortage of supposed entertainment, and it is very cacophonous. And then, so a lot of my work ends up sort of representing that aspect of media, the abundance of it, I suppose. Did you have a question about the monitors specifically? Or?
I don't really have technical questions. Well, I did have kind of a technical question. Are any of the clips, besides just being looped, are they any altered besides the big screen? You've got kind of these clips, kind of this solarized layering on top of each other that's very surreal.
Is there any other editors? It's minimal. In the Rambo piece, which is called "The Mind Is the Best Weapon."
Is that's on the 4 little screens?
Yeah, and there you can see right now that there's a duplication on, like the image is coming up twice on those 2 screens. So there's a little bit of manipulation of the image there. And of course I picked the scenes that I felt related most to my theme. So you see certain things from the movie, and I picked the things that I felt went together. And then same with the Rocky pieces. Each TV has maybe between 9 and 15 minutes of footage from the movie. It's by no means the whole movie, but like each TV has the parts of the movie that I felt fit the theme of the piece.
Yeah, I'm fascinated with video as a medium is really fascinating to me, and I'm doing a video that I wanted to do the interview on video, and I do some like little video experiments without a lot of technical know-how. I do the awkward hour, you know. I was wondering if, do you feel you're awkward or your art is awkward?
I feel that normally working in installations and video, anything that's conceptual can create awkward moments, whether you mean it to or not, because a typical art show where, I guess especially, like say if this show were in certain cities, it may feel less awkward, but
because they're more used to that type of thing there.
Conceptual art or video art, you know, and it's a little more awkward when you're in a position where you have to keep explaining things that people aren't used to. But I like being in that position because both as an artist and as a curator, I curate film programs. And
really? Tell me about that.
Yeah, in fact, there's the first show, I'm doing something that's going to be monthly, and it's sponsored by the Central Utah Arts Center, but a lot of the shows will happen in and around Salt Lake. The first one is in April at Garfo, and then there's probably going to be one at Westminster, maybe one at the U.
So you're curating these, they'll be with video of other people?
Yeah, and it's going to be in a more like a theater type context, or just watching on a screen, you know. But there won't be installations. But I'm curating these programs of film and video work, and my aim is to bring things in that people aren't used to seeing. So it is kind of awkward trying to show something where there's not already an understanding of what it is, and you kind of have to goad people a little bit to learn something. But I feel it's more rewarding than having them come and already know what they're going to see, you know.
That's true. A lot of artists feel like the art should speak for itself. Do you?
I think yes, but I think there's also, if the art should speak for itself to anybody who maybe hasn't put forth any effort to learn about the context of art, then you're really limiting the scope of what you can do. So I think art should, I always write an artist statement, but I don't like writing them because I wish people would be able to see what I'm seeing.
It's a kind of an odd thing, like if writers that write books made a little painting, you know, because your writing is not your medium.
The art should speak for itself, but sometimes you have to educate people.
At the same time, I think that's fine to make some demands on the viewer and, you know, not spoon feed them something easy and give them something that demands that they do a little bit of work.
Yes, so I would agree with the idea that the art should speak for itself, but I don't think that excuses the viewer from having to learn something to understand it.
Okay, well, geez, if I can think of anything else.
If you do, you can come grab me.
Okay, well, thanks a lot, Tyrone.
Yeah, thank you. Is this going to be like a podcast online, or what?
I'm going to put it on my YouTube, and then probably post it on like Facebook.
Great. Well, thanks.
Thanks.
I'll look. I'll check it out. Send me an email or something so I know where to find it.
I will.
Okay.
All
Thanks.
right. Thanks.